Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for being there. We have Vitamin Stacker there again. Thank you for being there, mate. On Twitch, specifically saying I'm watching from my room. There you go. Audio is doing fine. Okay, it's just monitoring. But watching from Portugal. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Portugal. Obrigado. Obrigado. Vitamin Stacker. Very, very happy to have you here. Very, very happy to have you, everyone, here. Thank you for being there. And if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're on Twitch and you haven't yet, hit the follow thing, the heart thing there. Hit that and follow me there. We're trying to get to 50, hopefully. And when you say hello, it also helps a lot. Because for some reason Twitch really likes when people engage there and says, it asks, how many people have been chatting at the same time. So yeah, very cool too. If you don't mind, hitting that, heart button, also just saying hello. It really helps. And same on YouTube. YouTube sort of, puts us in a position where, it's better to just say it. Please hit the like button and help us out with the holy algorithm so that everyone can reach us here tonight and see our holy bald head here. We have Viridian Games. How's it going, mate? Watching from Wisconsin, USA. How are things there in Wisconsin, mate? Thank you for being there. Look at that. Very nice to have you here. What time is it there in Wisconsin? What time is it there? Very cool, very cool. I imagine we have a few hours difference here. I'm in the UK. I'm here in Liverpool with you tonight. I put a few more RAMs, a few more gigabytes of RAM in this computer, so tonight we should have less issues than usual when streaming, when sharing the screen. I think still the I don't know if it's video thing anyway, but maybe the RAM is going to be it's going to help. I don't think it was the RAM before. I think it was something else. But hey, I think it's just the thing being, just the processing power. I think that's all there is. It's probably this thing single threaded. It's 1:40 in the afternoon, and it's surprisingly hot. Makes me not want to do anything. We're really cool, man. You can sit back, relax, and just watch me do a bunch of shit. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a bunch of shit, honestly, because I make many mistakes, and but I also make cool things. You can learn from my mistakes from me being here. And cold here, we have 15 Celsius here. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit, but let me see, 115 to Fahrenheit. That is 59 Fahrenheit. And yeah, so it's it's not very warm. Yeah, here at this just as 20 Celsius come in, would be about 68 Fahrenheit here in Liverpool. People start dying. People start, they feel smothered. I don't understand. I really don't understand. That just, that's a heat wave here. 68 Fahrenheit is ridiculous. But hey, I come from Uruguay, where usually summers of 30, 32, 33 is the average the whole summer. So that would be how much? 32 is 89. Yeah, 30. Which, that's like the average day in the summer, saying it's 24C here today, which is very warm for Wisconsin. Oh, okay, I understand that. Okay. Yeah. So it's more or less like here, I would say. Yeah, I would say it's more or less like here then. Yeah, y'all can't stand the heat, the good heat, the Texas heat. Oh yeah, 40C summers. Yes, and that's painful. That'll get you placed. That'll get you hoping and wishing you had a good a good fridge to put your head in. We have Vitamin saying it rained little today, so cooler 18C. Okay. But 85% humidity. That's a painful one. Humidity, you can have like not too hot. I remember, like, I always put the same example. I was in it was, I think, 2018. I was in Berlin. I remember going to Berlin. It was I think a record hot temperatures in Berlin in the summer. And it was like 37, something like that, degrees, 37 Celsius, something like that. And which would be about 98 Fahrenheit. And but it was very, very dry. I was living in Italy back then. I was living in Verona. And Verona, is very, very humid. I went there from the airport of Mestre. Mestre is very close to Venice, right? Venezia. And when we arrived at the Mestre airport, right, it was 30 degrees, but it was so much worse than 37. Like, it was infinitely worse. Like, I would much rather have 37, even 40 degrees dry than 30 degrees humid, because 30 degrees humid is just, it's unbearable. It's unbearable. Absolutely unbearable. You literally grow bronchi. You literally grow bronchi. You turn into a fish. You start swimming in the air. You just want to drown and die. It's horrible. It's just bad. No way. I'm not doing that again. Next summer, or the next one, I'm not going to a humid place. Thank you very much. No way. That's been my experience with what I'm saying. We have I hope the cheese is safe. Keep the cheese safe. Keep the cheese. You have your. I like the vitamin has his priorities straight. The most important thing here is to take care of the cheese. Cheese is what we should be taking care of here. That's the most important thing here. Very, very important. You used to live in Texas. Look at that. It's a dry heat. Yeah, it's a dry heat indeed. Yeah, the cheese is probably someone's eating the cheese, but thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much. Very glad to have you here with us. I hope we're going to have some chill time watching me struggle here, because I'm going to struggle. I always struggle here. That's that's not a secret anymore. I always bring here all my struggles, so in front of you, so that you can see how it is, to build these things with just thinking about stuff in the in front of you. And I don't plan anything. I just come here. I'm planning it with you, building with you here, and we'll see how it goes. I have to excuse myself that the issue that we had with the we don't know exactly why we weren't able to get the collision in the way we hoped. I haven't checked that yet. I've been very, very, very extremely busy doing the no coding stuff. It's coming along really, really good. Like I said before, I managed to have this like the whole serialization, the deserializer, the interpreter is working great. So we have a really good interpreter that manages to take basically a JSON, right, and turn that into working code that basically just runs without the need to code. Now I need to sort of what I'm doing now is consolidating this into a proper UI that will help you create these things without the need to know how to code, which is what we're looking for, right? Looking for is helping you get those the things faster without having to do any code. Or if you have to code, should be like small functions and things that you can add as part of the pipeline of the no code pipeline. That's the idea, right? So someone could make you a function that does something, for instance, right? You can hire someone or ask someone to do a function for you that performs a certain thing that you need, instead of a full component, right? I think that's more interesting. You can even ask one of those stupid AIs that mess up all the time. Yeah. But yes, okay. Let's go. Let's share the screen and start doing this. This is the first time I'm sharing the screen for the first time after upgrading the RAM. Let's see how that goes. Okay. It's auspicious. I see the mouse is not dragging. So usually drags a bit, and it isn't dragging. I don't see it dragging. I see it very fluid. This is good. Oh my god. I hope this. Yeah. I don't feel that much of a hit on performance, so hopefully we'll have a good time with this. I'm a bit disappointed that nobody on YouTube say hello yet. We have a few people on YouTube I'm seeing here. I'm seeing numbers there. I know you're there. I know you're there and you haven't said hello. I hope you at least have, I hope you at least have hit the like button, At least, at the very least. This just bare minimum. Just do that, Why not? What have I done to you? Okay, so we have we have this thing here. Let's take this out. We don't need this now. And let's keep this going then. Let's start going with this. Let's get started with this. I mixed all the phrases together. And let's see where we are. I totally forgot where we are. Oh, I need to open VS Code. I wonder if I can open VS Code like that now and then without having issues, and how much it will take to open VS Code just directly. Let's see. Okay. It was pretty fast. Okay, so it really improved. Wow. Okay. I'm impressed. Okay, so I really needed a RAM upgrade. I'm impressed. So yeah, beautiful. Let's look at what we had. Always Tuesdays. We always have the problem on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are a bit slower because at the very beginning, because we have to kind of figure out where we were the last time we sat here. So let's figure that out now, eh? Figure that out. But first, as I per myself a bit on Mate, let's remind you to hit the like button again, to hit subscribe, to do all that stuff, because it really helps, I'm sorry to insist, but I've seen that when I say it, people do it. If I don't say it, people don't do it. And then I'm like, it's just sitting there saying, well, I just have to say it. Maybe I say it more, it just happens more, I don't know. Some people get pissed at those things. They're like, hey, why are you saying that all the time? But yeah, well, okay. There's a reason. There's a reason for everything in it. All right, yes. Let's do this. Okay, so we have what do we have here? Let's look at this. Where were we? Let's hit play and see where we are. How are these things working? Is everything working? Haven't we broken anything? No, we didn't break anything. How about beautifully working? Yeah, beautiful. Oh, whoa. Okay, we left something a bit broken, I guess. Oh, okay, yeah, the death thing, right? I think we were figuring out the death stuff. The different states, the different ways in which an enemy can die. The different ways in which an enemy will behave. yeah, we are abstracting our minions so that they could work in a RTS system, or in a or in this case, which it is going to be very much of an RTS system. The tower defense system is very much an sort of an RTS system, in the sense that enemies will walk from start here to, through our waypoints and going to come here to the end. In this case, we're not defining we're not defining routes, right, automatically, right? We're not saying, okay, this is your route, this is how you move. We are very specifically setting up the waypoints in which they move. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's more or less how we're handling things here. And yeah, we may add some randomness to that, so that, enemies can be like one beside the other and things like that, and they can show up, in sort of swarms instead of showing up one behind the other like this, lined up. I think a line of enemies is a bit silly, innit? I don't know. I don't like this line of enemies having like 2 or 3 lined up there. Ah, right. You see how they are going out there? Okay. Yeah. Okay. You know where it was shooting? Okay. It was shooting here because we have the goal here. Okay. That's why. So look at this. So if we add anything here, it should be shooting then at the gun. At the, at this thing here, at the goal. So probably it was that. I think it was that. I think it just saw that there was, the goal there. Okay, let's move our goal. We saw, okay, we made our goal function last time. We got it to work. We need to put it where our waypoint is here. Let's put it there. Let's set it up there. Let's just bring it there, here. Okay. So we just parented it there, all that. And now we're just going to put it outside of the waypoints. And this is our goal. This is the place where enemies, okay, if they hit this thing here, if they enter this area, they win. So we're bringing them inside of this area. All right, this is what we're doing. And if they cross this, they win. And we lose points, right? So they score. The enemy score when they crosses that line, when it enters that collider. All right, so let's do that. And yeah, let's see how that is working now. I think that should be working now more correctly. Probably if we do this, start killing all the enemies, start killing everything. Yeah, it didn't keep shooting. It kept shooting because there was the goal there. So in the goal is remember, the goal is a character. That's the thing. Okay, I didn't mention that detail. The goal is also a character, I believe, because we're assuming that the goal could be a character, something that you need to hit, something that you need to arrive to, something that you need to cross, something that you need to destroy. It could be anything. So we are considering the goal, the place you go, a character a character in itself. Okay, and we're simply calling it goal. Okay, it's we created an abstraction that is called goal. Okay, so we have Viridian Games here asking, so this is an engine specifically made for making games in JavaScript. Yes, it is. It's an engine thought of to make games for the web. Games that run. Sorry, let me rephrase that. This is an engine to make games with Three.js specifically. With Three.js, more than with JavaScript, with Three.js, which I think it's important to say, because it's not that I woke up one day and thought I'm gonna make 3D on the web, I'm making an engine for Three.js, like an editor for Three.js. That's what Rogue Engine is, basically. It's tooling around Three.js. So you don't need to learn a whole new set of things. Basically, just learning Three.js and knowing Three.js. You can do this. It's already a marketable skill. It's a really good thing. I think very useful in it by itself to learn Three.js. So Rogue Engine, in a way, it's giving you the means to have something else you can do with Three.js there, right? And yeah, I think it's good to have those sort of things there, right? Adding value on top of the open source stuff we have, right? Which is I think it's the best, right? And okay, but yeah, it's basically yes, that exactly as you said. Yeah, it's game engine for JavaScript. That would be a good description. So yeah, we have this. We have our little turret there. Beautiful. Okay. And the enemies there. Our enemies are going. Yeah, our enemies are going. We're scoring. Yeah, 8. Yeah, we have current HP 13. Yes, because all the enemies passed through, so we lost HP from 20 to 13. That's what we want. We have 7 enemies, so yeah. Okay. I'm happy with this. I think we are in a good place. Yeah, we need to sort of start thinking about what else we need to add here, because the thing we fought with last time, oh no, bit of lag. Where is lag? Are you seeing lag? Let me see. Lag from my voice. Okay, I don't see any lag. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, brilliant. I thought we had like a a lag with the audio. No worries, mate. Thank you. Please, if you see any problems, let me know, because I might just be going through and then with issues and stuff. It's not a good idea. I've had like some good 20 minutes speaking with the audio working horribly and just speaking robot language. So yeah, thank you for letting me know, and please do let me know if there's a problem. In fact, I trust you will let me know, please, from any side. And YouTube, I mean, today it's all Twitch. We have everyone from Twitch saying hello. We have people talking from Twitch. 2 people. It's incredible, and we even have at least someone else on Twitch there that I don't see. I don't know who that is, but there's someone else there on Twitch. I'm glad. Thank you so much for being there. I really need a bunch of people watching on Twitch for Twitch to start giving me some love. But hey, YouTube people, come on. Are you gonna let the Twitch people be more than you? It's just fill up the chat. Are we not gonna see the YouTube icon there and in the chat messages? How is this? Just defend your honor, defend your platform, defend the platform that you're using. You want to win or do you want to lose? Horrible. Incredible. Okay. So let's go. Okay. So what were we doing? I digress. Okay. So we're selecting the state of a state machine. We have a state machine here, and we're applying the state of a state machine. Okay. So we say that we have we have some enemies that we have selected, right? Because we've actually called some enemies in this list here, right? So we get those enemies, and we if they're in attack range, we attack. Okay. Otherwise, we move. Why do we just move? Because we know that when we apply the state, right, which we're gonna check if we have some enemies right in the list and all that, we're gonna be moving towards that enemy, right? So we know we're moving, right? And then we check where we're moving towards. We'll set the new waypoint towards that enemy. The idea is that when we apply the state, we're simply going to apply the movement. Why? Because movement is just moving forward towards waypoint. See, so we select waypoint and move towards that waypoint. That's the idea basically behind this. you know, that way it's everything works, you know, a straightforward line. You know, we know that what's happening in each place, in each part of the code, right? So here in the apply state, we're simply applying the state itself. We check which state we're in, and we apply the movement here, just movement, right? And we change the waypoints if we need to, right, where we need to go, all that. And then if when we are attacking, all we're going to do is simply apply the attack animation, right? If we are dying, we'll simply die. We'll apply the death animation. We do all these things that we need to do. For idling, we'll simply apply the idle animation, things like that. That's what we want to do, right? To have, and we need to do this in a very because remember, what we're building here is not really a game. What I'm doing here is a platform for you to make a game, for you to make. I'm building a template for you to make like a tower defense or an RTS game, right? This is a tower defense that will give you like a template for many things that will also work in an RTS. We can then pick it up and make an actual RTS with this. That would be interesting. But yeah, let's focus on this now. We have towers, right? We can have towers. We can buy. We can upgrade them. We can sell them. That's all works in an RTS game. We have the UI, in place UI for that. We have minions that follow waypoints, and we're abstracting those as much as we can so they work also for our minions, because the next thing we need to do is to create a tower that will be like a barrack. So a tower that will be like a barrack, basically there we'll have minions that will come out of the barracks and stand here in the way. We need to have like a little gathering point there, right? So they know where to go, where to place themselves. I still don't know how that's called. I'm trying to remember how that's called in games. Like in, I forget how that's called. I don't know the name. It's assembly point or something. I don't remember what the name is called. But you know, you always put the flag there outside a barrack, and all the enemies, you know, all your minions hang out there. You know, all your little troops there. So we need for our troops to hang out there. Minions in this case will be hanging out outside of the tower there, in the place where we set our flag. Okay, so that's all we're going to be doing here. We're going to set up the flag, and we're going to let, you know, when enemies come in, you know, they will fight. So that's the other thing. They will have a range, right? They have an attack range. Let me see where the minion is. Let's bring it in here. Let's bring our minion. You know what? Let's just open the editor. Okay, so we can see the minion there. We removed last time. We removed the trigger. Yeah, we had removed the trigger. I don't remember why we removed the trigger, but let's add it back. Let's add it back. We want to make sure that we have that. So yeah, let's create this and call it attack. Oh yeah, it's just attack range. Well, not it's not attack range in it. It's it would be like a sensor range, right? Like when you're, how close you have to be for them to sort of how close they have to be to you to see you and attack you, right? Like at which point you get in their viewpoint, right? So it would be like more like a yeah, attack trigger, I guess. Attack trigger, because that's what triggers the, or engage trigger, or engage, yeah, engage trigger. Okay, we call it that. Oh my god, naming things in game development, oh my god, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. So we'll get a we'll use a bow, rapier bow, okay, and we'll make it, how big can we make it? We'll make it about put about here, yeah, about there, and we'll make it, how big? 10? Oh, 10's a bit too big. How big? 5. Maybe 5's fine. I don't know. In this case, it's fine for it to be centered. Like if this were a like other kind of game, I would put it like this. I would set it up in this way, so that, you know, if you're like right behind here, maybe, you know, they'll see you, right? Or maybe you could put it this way like this, and they'll see you here forward, you know, and but they will not see you if you're, you know, you put another one here behind to say, okay, you'll need to make noise to, you know, if you were making like a stealth game. But in this case, I think just having it in the middle, because it's a tower defense. But just to give you an idea of the kind of things you can do, right? Just to give you a little idea, because I think it's interesting. I think it's pretty interesting. You can you can play or you can fool around with that. That's really cool. So okay, let's yeah, let's have that. Yeah, and let's save and exit. I'm hoping this will not interfere with our goal. Yeah, I just want to make sure that our goal. So it's a -1. No, wait, where is it? Yeah, where was it then? Oh, sorry, I made a mess there. Yeah, it's about there. It's fine. Okay, so 48. Let's put it about here. I want to see if the trigger is colliding with this, because I don't remember how that worked. So yeah, let's just look at that and see if at what point do they collide with the thing there, with the goal. Yeah, it's a bit early. Yeah, so they're hitting the yeah, so we'll make sure that whatever hits this thing is not a sensor. So they can't hit us there with the sensor, okay? So let's go to the goal. Let's make sure that the collider hitting here is not a sensor. So we'll come here and say, what will we say? Yeah, remember, this is the little thing we had to do. We had to set up to remove, and in After we were removing the objects that we set here, because we can't remove it directly on the, this is the thing that I didn't check for you, you know, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I really didn't have time to do that. I'm gonna check that later, and then, you know, if I need to make an update there in the physics engine, I'll do that for you, I promise. But yeah, this is really this is not such an important thing, you know. I think you know, there's a good workaround for it, and or at least a way to do it. I really don't know what it is, but there's a way to do it. So let's use that for now, and yeah, not think about it for now. But okay, so we need to do here is check. We'll do if info dot other collider dot sensor. I think it's is sensor. Then we return. Okay. What's going on here? Is sensor, but is sensor. Oh, is sensor is a boolean. Oh, sorry, it's a function. Okay, all right. So okay, so if it's sensor, we'll return. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll do that and check out what's going on here. We'll hit play, and I think now they should actually hit the there you go. There you go. Yeah, because it's right there in the curve, you see. So when they're hidden there, it works. All right. So we're discriminating colliders. We're not allowing this to collide with any sensor at all. We're saying if it's a sensor, we don't allow it. If it has to be an actual collider in order for it to work. And in fact, we could do a positive discrimination, right? We could say we only want colliders with a certain name, for instance, right? We could say we only want colliders that are called, you know, a minion. And so it will only work when a minion goes through that. And that would probably be a much better option, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a... Yeah, it depends. It depends because we're actually getting the minion here, right? We actually, in fact, we should do. Yeah, we should put this here, not there. Yeah, I don't know why I did it that way, but yes. Yeah, this is just wasting resources otherwise. But yes, maybe a good way to do things, a good way to do this as well is to just say, is this collider called, I don't know, this thing, but yeah, no, now I think of it, yeah, that would mean that we have to figure out if it's a minion and then do that. So since we know we don't want the hair sensor anyway, we could do that later on. Like we could just get the component here. We can get the collider here. And get the collider from get the component collider from the minion itself. But we don't need to do that now. So that's okay. I think the best way to proceed here now is to just leave it this way and try not to do things that we don't need before we need them. Just because we think we need them. You know how that's called, right? Acne. It's called acne. And it's a sickness. It's a sickness. Yeah, YouTube people, no YouTube people today. It's incredible. YouTube. Where are you, YouTube? What's going on, YouTube? YouTube hates me today. I don't know what's going on. We're Twitch people today. We're Twitch people. I think we have at this time we may have more people on Twitch than on YouTube. I think it's that, and that's a record. That's an absolute record. We usually have more people on YouTube than on Twitch, which is a lot to say considering there's like probably 3-4 people on Twitch. I don't know. This number here is always, never true. So, yeah. Thank you for being there, Twitch. Thank you to everyone watching on Twitch and to the 2 people I think watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. Because really, yeah, that's a lot. Thank you. All right, so we have the goal here. Very good. This is a very say tower defense sort of thing, right? This is a very tower defense thing. I don't think you will need to use this for an RTS, but it will be there in the template, so it'll be an interesting test, an interesting thing for you to play around with. Let's remove this because I think it's just bothering us here. But yeah, cool stuff, eh? Now you can check out different things. You can figure out what to do here with the template, right? And you have a few ideas of different things you can do with the same code, with the same stuff. Even just moving around the collider will give you different results. So that's cool. That's cool to know. All right. Game logic. Okay, let's look at the game. Oh no, sorry, the minion. Let's look at the minion and see what we can do with the minion now. What else we need to abstract from the minion, because we I think we already removed the game logic from here. Okay, yes, we removed the game logic. We had the game logic here. And that was a problem because if you have the game logic inside the minion itself, right, you're always depending on that same game logic or a very specific API from game logic, and you're assuming that you're scoring and things like that. So in order to make that a different, have a different way of doing things in this case, right, we allowed the game logic to handle the scoring and all that, right? So that's what we added. We made the game logic handle the instantiation of minions, getting the minion component, and giving the minion its waypoints, right? So the game logic is instantiating the minions with the minion wave, right, the enemy wave, and giving those enemies the waypoint they need, right? So we can then make a discrimination. Say if you have like 2 teams, right, you could make a discrimination here saying I want the enemy wave to be an enemy wave and an own wave. Right, say if you're making an RTS sort of game, like an arena RTS, sort of like I don't know, League of Legends, something like that, you will need to have, discriminate here what are my minions and what are, the enemy minions. So that's something to keep in mind here, right? Yeah, you'll need to have that logic set up as well. So yeah, and your waypoints, of course, right? You'll need different waypoints, you'll need all these things. So basically you'll be using this game logic as a template for your own game logic, but not really as your own game logic, unless you are making a tower defense. But that's the idea. This will help you figure out what you need. Ultimately, you'll make whatever you need, hopefully. So all right. So we have that. What else we need? We know that the game logic is handling the minions now. It's handling at least the instantiation and the waypoints. Is there something we're not figuring out? We're not doing here that we should be doing? No. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing: the defender state, right? Because we had a defender class and an attacker class, and this we were doing because we had our system was handling different classes and different things. This is not necessary anymore. We'll have this for every minion if the distance is greater than the distance to the from origin to waypoint. We want to go to the next waypoint. Okay, so if we have reached a waypoint, we want to go to the next one. All right, so that's more or less what we're trying to do here. And so if there are no waypoints, right, we're just going to say don't move. So maybe we should say here, well, this is already doing that. It's going here like saying, oh, hey, if we have waypoints. So that's okay. That's okay. That should work anyway in any case. Okay. So we have the move, we have the attack and the idle. This will need the animation. That's all this will do, but it will not do it with these minions, because these minions, they are all attackers in our own sort of fancy way here. They are attackers, right? These minions are going to move forward towards the next waypoint. That's all they're going to do. All the minions, they are going to be defenders, right? So a defender minion will, like our minions, the minions that we're going to have in our things here, in our little towers, in our little minion towers, we're going to spawn them, and they're going to be standing in the road. So they're going to be sort of defender minions, what we'll call defender minions here. In the logic of a tower defense, right? In the logic of other games, like if you were making an RTS, it'll be just another minion that's not moving. So that's why we're setting the waypoints in the game logic to the enemy waves, right? But not here in the minions, right? Not here in the minion class, okay? So what's going to give the waypoints to the defender minions, to our defender minions, is going to be the tower itself, the barracks itself, right? When it says go here, move there, when you spawn it and it moves directly, right, comes out of the tower and it will spawn. So say we have the tower here, right? It'll spawn from here and move towards the place, right? So that will be the waypoint. It will be just one waypoint. It will move there, and then when it finds an enemy, right, it'll set the waypoint towards that enemy. So always have one waypoint, right? Always go to the next waypoint, and that's it. Same, the other enemy is going to have probably the other minion as a waypoint, so they're going to be meeting in battle. That's what we want. Oh, that would be magic. Imagine we're already imagining the minions fighting. So exciting, so exciting. We want to see that. We want to see a little fight. So my question is, should we add animations first, or should we just make the minions fight each other, and then should we make the fight happen and then we add the animations? That's what I'm wondering. That is what I'm wondering. Because I know that moving, it should move towards the enemy, right? So they should always be when they reach the enemy, they should stand still, right? They should okay, I'm here now, I don't move anymore. Maybe we should figure that out first. Make sure that they are there and they engage, right? And they go close to each other and start fighting, right? So that would be a good idea there. because we need to figure out sort of where you stand, right? What's the minions? Where are they going to stand in comparison to the other minion? Like, what's their relative position to start attacking, right? Yeah, that's an important one. That's an important one. We'll need to figure out how we solve that. If we need to have like a radius property or something like that to make it generic and not complicate things too much. If we add, the more things that we add, the more we complicate things. We try to figure out, okay, based on the box 3 or something like that, we could actually end up having a lot of issues here. Or on a sphere, we could do it on a sphere. Yeah, but we will depend a lot. Like, we could use the we could use the collider. We could actually use the minion collider here. The the non-sensor collider. So we could go through the minion colliders, check which one is not a sensor, and use that as the radius, but there's no offset. In this case, we're saying the scale. So maybe, that makes it very specific that we would need to like come here and look for this object, the collider object, right? And check the scale, right? That would be like a very specific thing to ask a user to do. Go into the collider, right? In that sense, if the interface, the API is, go to the collider and check the scale to make sure that you're standing, stand where your scale ends and the enemy scale begins, right? So you're standing there, right in front of your enemy, and that's where you stay. So basically you would be subtracting from the distance that we need to move the radius of our radius and the opponent radius, right? That's what we want. And yeah, that will give us the exact position where we stand, plus an attack offset, right? So we'll need to subtract also an attack. Say I need to stand, I don't know, say this many meters away to start attacking, right? And that's all because remember that the position of the minion is at its center. So the other minion will try to come here to, the very center of the other minion. It will actually never reach that position because it's too far away. So it will never reach there, right? So we actually need some kind of some kind of something. Something. We need something there. We probably need like a little bit of a buffer to know where the other minion is going to stand in comparison to I don't think we can do that here. No, this is the this is the other thing, but this is the editor. I didn't know we couldn't do that in the editor, but in the prefab editor, I guess I removed that capacity unknowingly. But that would be more or less the distance one would stand from the other to attack each other, right? So we'll say, okay, I can't stand more than here. And I'm wondering how fair that is, but okay. We can do that, I guess. We can play with that. Yeah, we should probably make this a capsule. Now that I think, now I'm gonna look at it. I'm thinking, this should be a capsule. But yeah, for now, we'll leave that like this for now. We'll maybe make it like 1 point something here in radius. Maybe hard code it at first, and then we figure out how we proceed about figuring out the position of like the distance we have to be to attack. Because that's crucial to figuring out when we stop moving, right? Sorry, that will be crucial to figure out where to set the waypoint to attack. You see what I mean? Because the waypoint to attack is also mobile, it moves, right? It's depending on where the enemy is, right? So it will, every frame it will be recalculated depending on, you know, if the enemy had, usually the enemy, I guess, well, not usually, but some cases, say we're confronting each other, the minion will be actually, you know, going in and trying to face us. So yeah, I guess that's the way to do it. But I don't know. I'm also considering here that maybe we don't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll look into it. Because there's also the other minions that say, the minion that's behind me. If I'm one of the minions, right, I'm moving towards this, right, moving towards the enemy, and I have a minion behind me, right, and they have a waypoint towards that enemy as well. Are they going to go right through me? All right. So usually these games don't give a shit about that. They really don't give a shit about that. So figuring that out, that's gonna be, we're probably just going to do like like one of these games usually do. That is just, you know, they just let things go right one over the other and they don't care. I don't know. We'll see. We don't want to overcomplicate it. We'll overcomplicate it as we go to, you know, refine the details. But yes, that would require, probably the sensor thing we did. We may need to adjust that and do that with the collider, probably. Do like, okay, collider should be called, you know, minion. And something like that. We should probably do that specifically as the second thing, right? So say, know that it's not a sensor. This wouldn't work because we need to make it. We would need to make it a sensor. Now we simply need to check, okay, is there a minion in that? Okay, and is this collider that we're hitting the collider that is called minion in order to score, you see? So yeah, complicated things we need to figure out. Okay. I'm sorry. I know it's a lot of information. I'm sorry about that, but it's all things that we need to figure out anyway. We'll get this working. Okay. All right. Nobody on YouTube today. What's going on with YouTube? There's nobody there. I think there's 2 people there. I think they go mad because I start asking for them to hit the like button, and they go like, I'm gonna go, and they just left. I think that's the case. Probably the case. But we have more people on Twitch, so thank you, people of Twitch. Thank you for being there. Say hello if you're there. If you're new, if you haven't, been there before, tell me who you are, where you're watching from, and all that. Tell us all here. Thank you very much for being there. I'm gonna die. Okay. All right. Let's go. Okay, so we have the idle state. This is just going to be an animation. We don't have the animator yet set up, so we're not going to do that yet. We're just going to focus on moving towards the enemy and making sure that we're there and we start fighting, okay? That's all we're going to do. So, but first, we actually, we actually kind of need to... No, we actually don't. Yeah, of course, we actually don't need that. Because I was thinking, well, I need to set up the tower that spawns the minions, but no. We don't need that. We can set up a little minions here now. Yes, we can. Why not? Yeah, let's do that. All right. So, what are we going to do here? Okay. So, do we have 2 minions here? Why do we have these 2 minions here? Where are they? I don't know. They are somewhere around there, in the middle of nowhere. Is it that? Okay, maybe I did something wrong here. And no, I don't know why that happened. But yeah, I probably took 2 out and left them somewhere. But yeah, I'm suspicious now what happened there. I don't know what happened. Gonna be a little stressed about that for a bit. Thinking about what happened there, because I remember this is a development version, so there are bugs. There are issues. This is not the official version that is in the website. This is the latest development version that I have, and it's full of reading of bugs. So we'll see some issues coming here. You know, we know that we're going to see some issues. So yeah, okay. That's for now. Doesn't seem to be any issues. Okay. Oh, I know what that was. Okay, remember that? Yeah, I remember what that is. Yes, I dropped some minions there on the other one, on the other scene. Okay, this is a bug, and I think you'll find that bug. You know, here's the thing. I don't know if you'll find that bug, honestly. But when I drop this here, right, and I then exit it, here's the minion. There you go. There it is. Okay, so it actually dropped it in this scene and not in the other one. Okay, that makes sense. So we have a bug here. Okay, we have a bug. I don't know if it's in this version or if it's in the official one. We should resolve that, of course. It is a bug and it should be fixed. Yeah, it's a differentiation between this scene, between the because the prefab editor scene, this thing you see here, it's a completely different thing. It's just switching scenes and giving you this to edit your prefabs and resave them like that, you know. But it's actually switching scenes, and when you hit exit, it's reloading the scene that you had previously loaded. So you know it's working its magic there to do that. But yeah, let's let's give it up for the bugs. You know, finding bugs while doing this. This is why I do this. This is why I come here live with you to build a game, to make something. I usually do this alone, and I'm here doing it now with you. So you know, so it makes more sense, right? I'm doing something. I'm also, you know, helping you out. I don't know. You may need this. You know, I'm sure there's some value here for you. Lots of value, I'm sure. Someone will find a lot of value in this. 100%. Definitely. There's many people who go out there, ask questions, do all these things, and then sit down and watch. I don't know, watch me. You know, you could just watch someone build and work with this, but ask questions even. You know, if you have any questions, you can ask them, and I'll answer them. All right, so let's create our little minion here. We have this minion. Yeah, this is an enemy minion, right? So we'll create a friendly minion. So what we're going to do is to create a new prefab from a previous prefab. What we do is we do Control D to duplicate, right? You can also do right click, duplicate, right? And that'll work too. But in this case, just doing that, and that creates a separate instance, right? An instance that is not a prefab, right? When you duplicate it, it removes everything from it, right? So we have everything that we need for this minion, right? And we're just gonna call it, we're just gonna call this friendly, okay? We're just gonna call this friendly. We're just gonna call it that. What else are we going to do? We're going to come here. We're going to come to the because I was thinking of changing the material color, but we should probably set up a material for our minion and that. But hey, for now we don't care about it. We don't care about that. Let's just call this friendly minion. Okay, just call this friendly minion. Okay, and it's this one is just going to stand there. Okay, and what we want to achieve is for this minion to be able to okay, here we have it. This minion should stand there in the road and fight the enemy minions as they arrive, right? So we should have, like, if we have like 1 or 2 here, right, they will stand there, right? So for now they will just stand there, and the other minions will come in, right, and they'll just pass through, right, and they'll just go, right. Did we move the goal again? Yeah, we moved the goal again. Let's move back. Yeah, let's just leave it there. About there is fine, I think. Let's see where the waypoint is. Ah, there it is. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's okay. So, okay. What we want is for our friendly minions to stand in the way and fight the enemy minions as they come in. That's what we want to achieve now. Oh, Viridian Games saying, hey, I just enjoy watching people make games. That's, yeah, me too. I actually enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. It's a great exercise. Mostly if you're making stuff, you know, or if you're interested in making things. You know, I learned everything I learned by watching people do things, you know, and then trying them myself, you know, and you know, it's not just about watching other people, of course, right? You don't just learn by, you know, assimilating what you see, but you know, assimilating what you see is first part of the process, right? You watch other people do things, and then you feel like, hey, maybe I can do this, you know, and you sit down. Certainly, if I can do it, anyone can do it. I assure you that. You know, I'm not a genius, so you know, you know, it's just a matter of sitting down thinking about problems, and when you just think about these problems a lot, it comes out of second nature. You'll make a lot of mistakes, just making sure, you know, you understand and you know that making the mistakes you make, it's just part of the process. Is, you know, it's what it is, what it is, you know. Not feeling demoralized or dismotivated because of the problems, you know. It's always good to find the issues, and it's great because when you have the problem and something like that, you understand. You say, oh, okay, I know now why, and you know, that's how you learn. That's how you learn. You become better, right? All right, so we have our two friendly minions, and we'll make them fight the enemy minions. They're going to surround these guys, and they're going to destroy them, very likely. So we want to fight. We want to fight. How do we fight these minions? Let's see. We have some more people now on YouTube coming in. YouTube, thank you, YouTube people. Thank you, the few of you who are standing by there. You're real heroes, you know, because the people on YouTube, you know, they're just living. I don't know what's going on there on YouTube today. You know, YouTube's abandoning us. And yeah, it's just a mess, you know. We really want to have you there with us. So hey, come into YouTube and say hello, and you know, hit the like button, help us out there to bring this out, you know, help take this thing out to more people. So help us reach more people. I can't speak English today apparently. So had a terrible night. I had a terrible night. I had so many nightmares last night. You know, my wife told me, like, you were screaming all night. Like, what's going on with you? Like, I was just absolutely possessed. So yeah, I don't know. I had a terrible night apparently. So yeah, my brain's now, it's not clicking tonight, you know. But okay, let's check this out. Sometimes you need the nightmares, you know. Sometimes you need the nightmares so that life looks better, you know. It's nice to wake up after a nightmare, you know. You wake up after a nightmare, you're like, okay, shit's good. Shit's still good. I'm fine, you know. It's better than the nightmare, much better. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're glad to wake up. So yeah, it's good. It's good. What do we need to do? Okay. So we're setting the waypoints for the enemies, for the enemy wave. It's given by the game logic, right? So the point here is that we need to give the enemy. So yeah, what we would need to do is give. This is a tricky one. Yeah, we need to give the enemy a new waypoint to go towards the friendlies. But we also need to, when they destroy the friendlies, we need to give them the new waypoint back, right? So where's the new waypoint, right? So make them go to the new waypoint. I have Vitamix saying there, I am assuming since using Three.js, the engine plays well with regular HTML and CSS. I ask because I have a project where I have Three.js objects that can react to HTML events and such. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is just, I mean, let me show you a bit, right? All of this is a website, right? This is all just a website, right? Right, this is an element. This is all HTML elements, right? This is all just a dream, right? And yeah, as a website that it is, right? It's the website. This thing here is just a canvas, right? And so with a few canvas, they're helping you out. And this is the same setup you would have in your website where you will run your game. So this is running your game in a very heavy website, right? This is a website with a bunch of things, right? And has lots of JavaScript doing other things that are like running this hierarchy and running this thing here, you know, and the thing still runs really good. So you can see the whole, you know, how your game will work actually, you know, even in the worst kinds of circumstances. Then you click here, right? At this address, or you just type it in your mobile device or something like that, right? You'll have a different one here. It's just your local network, right? Your local address for this project. It will work in your local network only, right? So you type that out, and you can use it on your phone. You can play your project on your on different devices. You can play on any browser on your computer. If you click it, it will open in a browser. All this so that just so that you can have more tools, you know, to see how your game will actually run. You don't need to build it to see it. You can definitely come here and say build. You know how long it takes to build? You want to see how long it takes to build? You want to see how long it takes to build? And boom, 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 boom. There you go. There you have a build, right? So, you know, it's fast, you know, it just works, you know, because it's just putting files together to make a static website. It's not, you know, it's not rocket science in that sense. So you're fine, you see. Should be fairly straightforward in that sense. Yeah. I might do a deep dive this weekend or next. I need to redo my personal site and learn this new tool. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Let me know if you need any help there. You know, you always have the Discord. Join our Discord, everyone, okay? Everyone there, join our Discord. Go into rogueengine.io. Download Rogue Engine, give it a go. You know, rate it on itch.io there. You know, there's a itch.io link to download this stuff. Rate it there, you know, leave a little comment there, it really helps. All those things help, you know. Even just if you build anything with Rogue Engine, telling people, hey, I built this Rogue Engine, because I know many people build stuff with Rogue Engine, and you know, it's like you know, they don't say it, you know, they don't say anything. So you know, if you don't share that you build stuff with Rogue Engine, then you know, nobody finds out about Rogue Engine. So, you know, just tell people about Rogue Engine, and if you build anything, and yeah, and whatever you build with Rogue Engine is yours. So, you know, I don't own it. You won't have to pay royalties or anything like that. So, you know, oh, Vitamin saying, that's a fast build. I am still kind of new to JS world. How nice does it play with frameworks like Svelte and React? I guess the question is more that most projects end up with build tools and such. I assume being is TS, it's all good. Yeah, it's still a tricky way to kind of set it up. If you just want to use like a React in a React way and that's it, just setting it up, you know, just React, it should be fairly simple, you know. You have full access to the project, you know, everything in the project is you know, it's just this is exactly, well, let me come here a second. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I took you to the starting soon. I took you to the credits. No, you're not overcomplicating. No. You have. I think it's a very fair point. It's a very fair point. Let me show this to you. Yeah, I can show it to you here. I think. Yeah, this is very visible here from here. You're not overcomplicating it at all. I don't want my face to be, yeah, because my face is there in the way, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna move myself a bit while I'm talking, you know, whoa, here, you know, I'm just gonna move myself somewhere here, maybe. Yeah, there, I think I'm fine there. Okay, so you can see that everything around here, you know, all the stuff here in the hierarchy, where you have, you know, you create your project, and your project, okay, what you get is basically this, right? This is a Rogue Engine project. This is what you build, right? What it's building, what it's doing, what the engine is doing is it's just creating an npm project like this, right? You have webpack config, and you can set up your own config, you know, in your like your own sort of stuff in the webpack config, and you have your package JSON. And you know, you have your ts config, you know, that you can you can do your own ts config. You can add your own configuration there, so you can npm install whatever you want. You can npm install React or anything you want. What will differ is what may complicate things is the way you sort of interact with the stuff in React and the stuff in Three.js. See what I mean? Like you still need to connect both worlds, right? So it's not like 100% straightforward, right? You still need to figure that out, like how you, but it's still all HTML in your page, right? So you know, and you have the what you have to make sure is that you're always instantiating things in the Rogue, in the UI, right? In the UI container, right? So instead of like this, let me show you where it's at. You know, I'm showing you this like this because I absolutely hate all those frameworks. I've had enough. I'm fed up with frameworks. I loved React. I loved Svelte. I used to love Svelte. And now I've been ranting about how much I don't like Svelte 5. And I know people that, you know, Svelte people get very mad about this, but I was the biggest fan of Svelte. I was telling everyone to use Svelte, and then Svelte 5 happened, and I'm like, no, don't be React. And it just turned into React 2.0. And I was like, no. Well, it's a bit harsh to say that, honestly. Like, but yeah, basically you need to say it's a bit harsh to call it React. React people are gonna hate me. React people are gonna comment on me. Why are you insulting us? No, I'm not insulting you. People get very touchy about their frameworks. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely mad. I use vanilla. I use vanilla because vanilla is still gonna be there when you die and you pass out and your flesh is eaten by the worms and all that stuff. Vanilla is still gonna be there. It's crazy, right? But this stuff, it's true. You know, like it just works. You know, it just works, and you create these little components. I can give you. You know, you have this component. You have access to this component because it's in the yeah, it's in. Well, I don't know if you have access to this component actually. I can send it to you if you want over Discord. I have no problem. I'll send it to you. This is a simple UI component. Just create a div container and just adding stuff to it and making things interactable. And I'm loading stuff from the here from the static folder, from the HTML folder. You see how I'm getting the URL, the static path to this URL, which is basically just something I set up here. Like let me show you here how it's set up, right? So here I'm saying UI tower base, UI tower, right? So these are the two different UIs that we have, right? The UI tower base and the UI tower. So what you do there is, right, that's the URL, right? So it's simply getting the path towards this, two files. It's just HTML files with some CSS. You see that, right? So all it's doing is fetching these files, and then we're using them in the, let me show you in here, right? We're just turning them into our component that does stuff for us, right? It's when you touch, and you have all access to all the stuff within Rogue Engine, right? What happens when you touch, what happens when, you know, and you have access to the update cycle and everything here. So this is the way I recommend using it, but you can certainly, you know, use it with React, if you like React. Okay. Oh, we have more here. Okay, let's see. Gomitarka here again. Oh, how's it going, mate? Nice to have you with us here, mate. Thanks for joining. And then we have Vitamin Stacker. He said, "Yeah, I see. It's just an import." Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a bit more. Yeah, still, because it depends on the way you want to structure the thing you're doing, right? If you're structuring in a way that is, you know, sort of just you say it's just going to generate the HTML and that's it. You can just generate you can just do it within the project itself, right? Like in here, or you could do it like in a secondary project that exports to the static folder, and then you can load the stuff in the static folder here, right? With the UI component, like I did, and then you can interact. You can do, but you'll need IDs and things to interact with things. That's the hard part, like how you interact with the stuff in React. That's the hard part, which in this case, like I have the HTML here, right? And all I do is I get the IDs from things like the upgrade button, right? I get the ID of the upgrade button. Here you have the, where is it? Where is it? The upgrade thing. Yeah, here it is, right? So yeah, because in the show, when you're showing this thing, what it's saying is you have the upgrade button here, right? So it's getting the element by ID, the upgrade button, and it's saying on pointer down, you know, do the on upgrade. What happens when you upgrade? And you can set this up in your own code, right? So what we're doing is in the game logic, we're deciding what happens when we upgrade, right? So in the game logic here, we have the on upgrade. Yeah. Yeah, I just wrote everything wrong. But yeah, here's the on upgrade. I was just saying UI tower on upgrade, and we decide what happens when we upgrade, right? So we're defining here the upgrade method. When we say, you know, we need a selected base, you know, and what the rules are, and what happens to upgrade the tower. That's all we're doing. Setting the currency, all these things, right? So we do that here. I think this is the best way to do this. You could also use UI kit. I've been playing around with it. I think it's really cool. I would like to bring that here to just do a little test with that. UI kit is really cool. So yeah, it depends on what you want to do. But if you have a React website and you want to add 3D stuff to the website, you can also do that, of course, as well. And but yeah, you need a bridge to interact with both worlds. Yeah, complex parts is referencing things from the framework. Yeah, exactly that. But that's cool for me so far. In Svelte, it's clean and being very close to pure.js. Yeah, it's last year I deep dive with 4 or more frameworks to get into the world, and I agree. No framework is very nice. Just deep. I just need jQuery. No jQuery, please. far away from jQuery, please. No more jQuery. I'm glad jQuery is slowly dying. Sorry, slowly dying. It's still there, because it's still there, but it's kind of, it's kind of dead, but it's still there, still live, still kind of still sneaks around here and there, in some places. I'm just loving Svelte, but I keep it as vanilla as possible too. Yeah. That's nice setup. Sure, I like the way you load the object. Do you mind also showing how you are binding materials and shaders? Almost all the pieces to get me started. Yeah, No worries, mate. I mean, if if you have any questions, just ask them. This is why I make these live streams. It's not just to make a game. I'm making a game as an excuse, so that when you come in, right, you ask questions and I answer them. So the most important part of the live streams is people ask questions and I respond. That's the most important part of the live stream. You are the protagonists of the live stream. You ask the questions, we keep the conversation going. So yeah, I expect as much. So no worries. You ask how binding materials and shit, almost all pieces to get me started. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a joke, but I'm guessing you said it as a joke. But yeah, I also don't know what you mean with binding the materials and in the shader. I'm not binding them. That's all Three.js. That's all Three.js. It's Three.js doing its whole thing there. But yeah, let me see if the audio is fine. Yeah, okay. The audio is okay. Okay, I need to move my face. I need to move myself down here. You see how I'm just using this part because we don't really need the project side there. Brilliant. Okay, I think it clicked. I think it clicked already, says Vitamin. I'm glad, mate. I'm really glad I could help. Let me know if you have any more questions, and glad to answer them as always. I'm here to answer questions mostly. So yeah, glad to be of service. So let's see. Okay, we need yeah, let's say this was a good review of what we're doing with UI, which is good, I think. This is how I like handling UI in general with Rogue Engine. I like having this sort of little components that do stuff like that. And in general, I like using this create how's it called? Create create element. I like that. I like using it that way. Pure vanilla, 100% vanilla JS development for the web. But yeah, we need to move. We need to move towards an enemy. So our enemy is actually getting the waypoints from the game logic. Now the game logic, the game logic. What's the game logic doing? The game logic, it does that at the very beginning when you're instantiated, right? So when we find an enemy, we need to go to, so yeah, when we find an enemy, we'll remove it. We'll sort of get rid of those waypoints, right? We won't care about them anymore. We'll remove them and we'll set a new waypoint towards the enemy. So maybe that's what we should do. I don't know. Yeah. That's the proper way of doing it, because here's the thing. Here's what I was thinking, right? We could create like a, in this case, if we had like a target thing, right? And we just move towards the target. That would be the easy way of doing it. But we're not here about easy. We're here about extendable, usable platform, right? That's what we're doing, because this is not for me for a specific game. This is for you. Okay, so I'm trying to make something that you can use with very different kinds of situations for a game. So that's the idea. Okay, so that's what we have, multiple waypoints like here, right? And even if we have enemies here, and we're saying, okay, we have enemies, so are we going to move to the first enemy and that's it, and then the second one, then the third one, are we going to like go through all the enemies and just move towards them? And well, not really, because in some scenarios we may want to, like, if we actually want to make this extendable, we will want for the waypoints to we will want the path towards an enemy to showcase the waypoints, right? To be like the yeah, we will want the enemies to be part of the waypoints, right? To be defined by the waypoints. That will also help us move easier, right? That will also decide, okay, because we're moving towards a waypoint, and we're just checking what the next waypoint is when we cross that waypoint. And we're never really going to cross that waypoint because we're attacking, right? So we'll just stay there. I think that's the case here, right? Because we won't have another waypoint while we're attacking. We'll just stay. Say if the enemy starts escaping, we'll just keep chasing them. The easy way, honestly, I feel very tempted to go the easy route, which is the tower defense route. The way we would do is now to make it very, very simple. Is to just, if we're attacking, we just move towards the enemy. You see, we just change the current waypoint. We say, you see, here. What would be it? Here, this would be the easy route, okay? Would be when we find an enemy, okay? So if we have enemies in the list here, right? If, let's do that. Length is greater than 0. What we'll do is we'll return yeah, this thing. Okay, yeah, of course, yes, sure. Fucking hell. Yeah, so the enemy will be our waypoint, and we can decide an offset for that, whatever that is, to start attacking. But that will be a current waypoint, and that would be an easy way. And we would always be moving towards that waypoint, and we would never be checking for another waypoint, because we could just do this dot enemies dot length equals 0, and so we don't have any enemies, we move to the next waypoint. You see, because we know it's always one waypoint. So for this game, this will work. You see, we still have to like do the enemy, like getting the enemies, like the sensor, because right now we don't have the sensor set up, so it doesn't have any enemies. It will not move towards the enemy. So yeah, we need to catch the friendlies and the other ones. We have more by vitamin casking. Since it's using TS, we can call it Neapolitan, since it has extra flavors. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. What's with the Neapolitan having extra flavors? I don't know. Yeah, you'll have to clarify there, Vitamink. You'll have to clarify what's with. I had no idea about Neapolitan ice cream having extra frameworks. Oh, okay. Vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. Look at that. I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that at all. Never been to Napoli, but I lived in Salerno for a while. So yeah, I'm familiar with their ice cream, with their bufala ice cream. The bufala ice cream are amazing. Gelato di bufala. I love the gelato di bufala. Oh, amazing. Can't say you using vanilla.js since using TS, so it's more Neapolitan. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, it's not pure JS, not pure vanilla. Yeah, of course. But hey, I think we'll call it vanilla TS. Vanilla TS. It's just vanilla. I think it's vanilla web, right? Because at the end of the day, TS is JS, right? It's just a few, it's just typings on top of TS, just a little bit of flavor on top of TS. I think it's JS. Sorry. I know this is very controversial to say, and people get mad at these statements, but I think for me, is the proper way to use JS. Right? I use JS a lot, like JS by itself, way too much, to then start using TS, hating TS, and being an absolute hater. Why do I have to use this when I have to use it at work? And then figuring out, wow, I actually this is actually much better. You know, I was hardcore JS, even coming from a C world, right? Which is because I was C, then C sharp. I did some Ruby, then I did some, I did PHP and all that, and then and while I was doing PHP, Ruby, and all that, I was doing JS, and it was hardcore JS, pure JS. I did some jQuery, but I didn't like it, so I was pure JS. And then I got kind of not very. It wasn't very funny when I remember I was using Angular JS. Does anyone here remember Angular JS? Like, not the current Angular JS, the first Angular. I was using that, so you can imagine I was hurt. So when they asked me who hurt you, Angular JS hurt me. Angular JS did me a good one. Angular JS turned my it was what was it, 2015? It was maybe 2016 when Angular 2 launched, and it was TS. And for hardcore JS people, right, that was a no, we're not changing. And it was a complete change. It's an absolute change. So the whole thing, everything you had built until then, it was just worthless now because you couldn't maintain it. They had just sepulted a bunch of the internet, a whole chunk of the internet. It wasn't. It's good that it wasn't that massive, but hey, lots of the users just removed them. That should have been the first massive red flag of frameworks. React was already there, and React was still kind of stable, and then React started doing the same stuff, and it turned into absolute garbage, in my view. Okay, I know some people think that React is beautiful and they love it, and that's okay, that's fine. Some people think it sucks. Like, I think most people think it sucks, and they just have to bear with it because their companies use it. Most people, I think they believe, okay, we need to use it. Like, there's a good amount of people who believe we need to use this because this is the only scalable way of doing things. Like, it's not scalable with other frameworks. Like, it was not scalable with Svelte 4. It was scalable, please. Rogue Engine was basically built with Svelte 4. Like a rebuild. I had a build with React. I hated React. I changed it to Svelte 4, and then I started changing it to vanilla. I made a component with vanilla because I thought I always say the best part of Rogue Engine is vanilla. This thing here, the hierarchy, fast, blazing fast, and it's amazing how fast it is. Just amazing how fast it is, and it's vanilla, pure vanilla, beautiful vanilla, and it works fast, amazing how fast. So yeah, it's I don't know what to tell you. Vitamin says it was sad day when they broke the backward compatibility. Like, yeah, they didn't broke backward compatibility. They just built something else, and just because it was a whole other thing. They just did something else entirely. Right? They just scrapped the other work they had done and decided, no, this is the way now. And instead of building another framework, no, they say, we're not going to maintain this anymore. We're just going to build Angular 2, which is going to be something completely different. It's nothing like the previous one. Yeah, it looked absolutely nothing like the previous one. Yeah. I didn't dodge that bullet. I got hit by that bullet, and it was awful. It was really awful. But yeah. You know, these things are like that. All right. Okay. So let's make the sensor work. Sorry, I'm gonna drink some water. Nice, nice, nice. And we need some matter now. Cold water and now hot water. Yeah, warm and cold, right? There you go. Okay, let's fix this thing. Let's create the sensor. So let's make our little let's make our collider. Yeah, okay. We'll make our colliders say collision events. There you go. And we'll save this. And so now every one of them should have collision events. There you go. You see? Change it once. Update the prefab. All prefabs change. Even if they are in the scene, they all change. Right? That's how it works. And we'll do the same with the melee minion. We'll come here. We'll come to the engage collider. We'll do collision events. And yeah, we'll simply do that and bring it back here. And there you go. Wait, did I change the correct one? Now I'm thinking like, did I change the correct one? Yeah, I did the correct one. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I did it right. Yeah, okay. And so now we take collision events there. And we'll do collision now, okay? So we do this dot body dot on collision start equals info, and we're going to say yeah, that you look at the compiled shit thing here. It's just trying to copy the same thing that it did in the other one. It's I mean, it's good, right? It's good because it's the same thing. So yeah, it's okay. But well, no, yeah, we care that it's not a sensor. Yeah, yeah, because we want to touch the other one. Okay, while it's a sensor, right? That's the thing. For now, the other one is not a sensor, but we'll see. So this is okay. We'll have it there. We don't know, but basically, it's copying the same thing. It's just copy pasted the code we had in the other one. It's interesting to see the context that it has. It has context between files. I think it kind of cherry picks some context to see where it goes and looks, because it basically copy pasted that, and then I realized that I had to do the enemies push minion the thing here. And but look at this. It's also adding us. See this? This is where you have to be careful. It's also adding us to the enemy list of the other minion, when the other minion should be adding us instead, right? Otherwise, we'll be added twice, right? Because the other minion is going to do the same. So we're going to be in an endless loop of adding each other. That's wrong, right? This is why we have to be careful with these things. These things are not smart. They're just predicting shit. So be careful. Be careful. And let me say that again. Be careful. These things are, good to a certain point, to a certain degree. Usually they'll make many mistakes. And if you do not pay attention, they'll make massive mistakes that you will regret, right? You'll be asking, why doesn't it work? And then you realize you just pressed enter, just press tab on something that you shouldn't have pressed tab on. So, I've seen more mistakes than I've seen correct things. I don't count the autocompletes when it's like, okay, I'm writing that and just giving me this thing I was going to write. So I don't count that. but the those as even as writes, because it's just a glorified autocomplete. But when it's giving me a complete thing, like a complete function, like it did here, and it has like parts that are wrong, you know, that's worrying. You have to be very careful. Most of the time it's wrong, it's that everything is wrong, right? There's like crucial mistakes. This one was a little mistake, but that was going to be massive, with massive impact. You know, it was just one line and it was massively impactful. You see, we have to be very, very careful with this. So yeah, we're adding our minion to the enemy list. I'm still sad. Look, I'm still you know what's impactful here? The fact that nobody said anything on YouTube. Not one comment from YouTube. Not one person in the YouTube chat. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And there are a few people. I see a bunch of people there on YouTube. Where are you? Where are you? Like, come on. Come on. Where's the YouTube people at? Incredible. Incredible. Unbelievable. You know? No, yeah, if you're there, just say hello, you know, just say hello. It really helps. It really helps to say hello, you know, all that stuff, you know, hitting the like button, subscribing, saying hello, and, you know, yeah, that all helps. Okay. So, I think this should work by itself now. We just have the collision event there, and on start, where we know the collider is already set up. Yeah. All right. Let's oh wait, no. See, we also trusted everything. Oh no, we did the type thing. Yeah, because in the other one it copied exactly the same we had in the other one. Yeah, and the goal had, yeah, if it's different. Okay, so making sure that the type is different. So it's only going to look for enemies, right? So yeah, that's important. Okay, so it's only gonna look for enemies. It's not gonna look for like our friendlies or anything like that. Yeah, that's cool. We're still not going to attack each other. It's still just going to go and run towards the you know, it's not gonna work, okay? Because they're going to, you know, they're going to arrive at the point, they're gonna stay there, yeah, because the enemy's still there, probably. That's what I predict is going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, okay, so we'll try it out. Nothing to worry about. We'll see. Oh, run into the... Okay. That was great. That was great. That was fantastic. You see that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was so funny. So it ran to the other side. Okay, so if the enemy's length is okay, so if we have more enemies, the current waypoint, where we use the current waypoint, where are we doing this? Okay, let's see. So we're doing this just to know if we have to move or idle, right? All right, but we are actually, yeah, we don't know what the current we don't know what the next waypoint is, and we're not really moving. Right, we're not really moving towards the next waypoint. Since we're not moving towards the next waypoint, right, everything is set up to move to the next waypoint here. So we should actually do what we were set to do at the beginning, and not do this crap that we did, like, hey, let's see if we have enemies, all that. No, let's just not do that. And let's just make this actually work the way we intended to work, okay? And stop bullshitting ourselves. And yeah, so what we're going to do is when we have an enemy, okay, we are going to set our waypoint to the first enemy. So maybe we should do this when we find the enemy, like when we get an enemy, right? So every time we get an enemy, we could do it that way, right? Say waypoint equal and say these dot enemies 0, right? So we get the first one there because we know we have an enemy at least, right? Sorry, that object 3D. Because we know we have an enemy here. So because we've just pushed the minion here, right? So let's do that. And so we're always moving towards the next, towards the first waypoint we have there. I think that should work. No, it's moved to the other side. That was funny. All right. So okay. What else? What's going on here then? So it's sensing that the enemies are coming in, right? It's the ones that are different than us are coming in and have different type, right? So they're enemy instead of friendly. This is what it says, right? And enemy, we push it into the waypoint thing, and we say, okay, waypoints. We're gonna set it to, okay, we're gonna just set the first enemy to be in the waypoint thing here. No, actually, no, I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. Am I not? No, wait. That's okay there. Yeah, that's fine. But we may need to do the same thing. Sorry. One of my eyelashes just mixed up there. Okay. Yeah, my eyelashes get like they kind of stick to each other. Okay. So we will need to do this to kind of change the waypoints, like set up the waypoint instead of doing it with the. I guess the current index is fine. I think it's fine. If this dot enemies dot length is greater than 0, we want to do this because every time we come in here, I think we want to make sure that yeah, let's do that here. Okay, in front of the array of the function, because going to the next waypoint is also like engaging with the next enemy, right? In this case, I don't know how correct that is, but I'll have to do for now. I don't know. I'm actually thinking we should probably do this. We should probably do this in the yeah, not even here. No, even here is wrong. I think it's something we do here in the update directly. We do it before anything else. We make sure that we're always like let's say and this dot waypoint. Yeah, let's do it that way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just do that. So if we have nothing there, we have to select a new target, right? So that's what we're going to do. Select the new target, basically. Because if we have a list of enemies, right, we have more enemies in our list, like enemies that we're still, I know you're there, right? I know you're there. I haven't forgotten about you, right? So next, you're next. So what we're going to do is when we kill an enemy, we remove them from the enemy list, right? Or when an enemy dies, we need to remove them from our enemies list. So we probably kind of do need to do a checkup of health checkup on enemies so that we don't yeah, because we may remove them from where they are, right? Because an enemy will remove itself from the scene, but they will need to do like a little bit of a change there. So yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see if this works. Well, let's see if this works, how it works, and all that, you know. I don't think this will work at all anyway. So yeah, I think let's still moving to the other side because we didn't fix that thing about them moving to the other side. I don't know what's moving to the other side. Honestly, like, because this is actually looking at the current waypoint position, right? And the current waypoint, if the current waypoint, like if the current waypoint is being set at, the origin is set at this position, right? And then it's set in the object 3D, look at the current waypoint position, right? And current waypoint is the first, yeah, it's the first one here. So we are actually always doing this waypoint index. Is 0. Let's do that every time, okay? Just to make sure, just in case. And this doesn't work now. I'll simply we'll look at it next time and all that is, yeah. I don't think this will work anyway. No, because we haven't changed the we haven't changed the problem is that it's not going in the when an enemy enters here, right? It sets the waypoints, like it defines where the next waypoint is. Yeah, okay, I'm tired now. We'll look into this next. There's nobody there in the chat. There's nobody saying anything. So I don't know. You know, we'll cut it short today. Maybe on Thursday we'll have a better live stream. I don't know. This was good anyway. This was good. A good live stream. I think I want to leave on a high note because this was all great. And yeah, I don't want to. You know, we had a bad YouTube day. We had a really bad YouTube day. YouTube people, what's wrong with you? You haven't said a word. And just a second, let me just a second, just a very little second here. All right, yeah, let's reconvene next time. We have a bunch of people that are on YouTube, and none of you are saying nothing, not a word. I hope you'll at least leave a like or something. I don't know, to help other people find it, something, you know. But hey, thank you for being there anyway. You know, thank you for liking the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you can, I don't know, say hello, something, interact in the chat a bit. You know, at least some saying hello helps a lot. YouTube, you know, things that people don't like it, or that it's, I don't know, that it's bots or something. And yeah, I don't have any bots. Otherwise, I'd pay for more than 6, I guess. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being there. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, Vitamin Stacker, there, being the MVP there in the chat. Just, you know, interacting all the time. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the you know, everything is valuable. So thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.